This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, points verse 3, and it read, I'm going to start up. I'm going to start up. This is Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 1. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out on the top of every street. So the gold is likened onto, Yasharallah of Israel, because scriptures say that the apple of the Lord's eye is, Yasharallah. Talks about, Israel being a holy or separate people. Most High, believe it or not, has a favorite, And when you talk to people that actually like create things, artists, painters, we had a brother that's a coppersmith in the camp. He said it out of his own mouth. He said, as an artist, you tend to have favorites, which makes sense. So something that's, is precious or likened on the gold, which is one of the most precious metals on the planet, how does it become dim? Because gold has a luster, a shine to it. So, saying the gold became dim. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. Once again, likening Israel to the precious metal gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? Verse 3, even the sea monsters draw out the breasts, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyim La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem, clapping us with them. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teach and do rule well. I want to say peace and salutation to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, freedom to do so now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim, the Akwath out there listening and learning, Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and land, other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth to you. I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. Coming at you with another lesson through the spirit, through the power of your whole bunch of y'all shot. And, I came across an article that caught my attention. It's not per se, a hot topic, because brothers in the midst of what all the things is going on, but you got other things going on as well. The spirit moved me to bring out this lesson because, it's just showing you the state of our people and, what time we're in and how things are going to increase and get, far more worse, So I came across this article, and I'm taking it like it's the spirit giving me this because I seen this article, so this was put me in the spirit to want to do it. But right before I was about to do the lesson, I came across another article. So it says mother who left toddler alone while on vacation gets life in prison for murder. Now she looked like a Israelite, maybe the tribe of Ephraim, Issachar, Yashashkar, who's to say? Candelario, It says a 32-year-old Cleveland mother who pleaded guilty to killing her 16-month-old daughter by leaving her alone to pack and play pen while she went on a 10-day vacation last summer has been sentenced to life in prison. And right before I was about to do the video, I seen this headline. Mother wanted in death of her 5-year-old son who was found inside a suitcase in Indiana. Now you got to test the spirit to know the spirit, or, try the spirit by the spirit. But, from, carnal means, more than likely they're Israelites because the scriptures talk about it's going to be curses, that was going to fall upon our people, which I'll get in a moment, but I wanted to bring out that scripture. Well, I'm going to get the curses. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and, I'm going to jump right in because, they try to refute the fact of who the real Israelites are, but at the end of the day, you can't refute it because it's scriptural, I'm finally getting the understanding of why the elder said, do less, talking of your own words and, just reading out the scriptures, because You can't refute the scripture. You know what I mean? That's what cut. You know, like when Stephen or Stephen was basically talking to Jake, you know, because he was talking to his fellow people, his brethren, and they killed him. It says they gnashed on him with their teeth. Because he was cutting them, and you know how he was cutting them through the scriptures, and that's deep. That's a deep conviction, and you got to think about it. The Lord, it says in the scriptures that there's nothing more precious in the Lord's eye than the death of His saints. So just imagine the retribution He gonna do to those that because the scriptures talk about appearing before the mercy seat or appearing before the judgment seat of the Most High. To pretty much lay account to everything you've done in the body. So it's judgments set up for individuals. I pray that I receive a righteous reward as opposed to the reward of a sinner. So it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, because again, it was blessings and curses. That's what the Most High, or Moses said, I put before you life and death in the book of Deuteronomy. I believe it's 32. He said, I put before you life and death. So you could choose the ways of life or you could choose the ways of death. And 2/3 of our people have always chosen death. It says, but it shall come to pass, verse 15, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, and all these curses shall become, and all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And when you go into what the curses break down to, it's only a select group of people on the planet that fit these curses. So when we go into, Yashakar, Issachar, or Ephraim, the Puerto Ricans, or Judah, so-called black man, they all fit these curses. That's why, which makes sense. It's only people of color that's going through these particular things. Now, you have individuals that look like they may be of other nations. You have brothers in the camp that look like they Edomites, but yet and still, that's between the Lord and that brother, or the household or whatever. But the scriptures talk about the spirit beareth witness with our spirit. So that's how we test. And then they call us racist. And I know that bugs people out, like vocab alone and all that shit. Vocab is really trying to make a career off of us. I can imagine what the Lord gonna do to that individual. Cause you really he crook, you making it appear like you coming with us, coming at us on a level of equality or respect, but in actuality, he do all kind of undercutting, and he just do a lot of little devilish shit. You know what I mean? And anything that he's done righteous, it was because the Lord humbled his spirit. But you can see deep down that man a devil. You know what I mean? You betraying one minute you out the scriptures, and the next minute you trying to be a musician. Like you all over the fucking place. Double-minded man. How you gonna be not of the world, but then try to be in the world? You see brothers in the camp do that. But that's, again, it's between the Lord and the Lord put it on your spirit to say something. You say it and then it's not heeded. That's the Lord, Because the brother got to recognize the Lord speaking through you if you saying something beneficial for them. But Salakia, I'm on a tangent. But nonetheless, back in the scriptures is 2 Corinthians, Salakia, Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. So it was blessings and curses, and these are the curses, and they only fit a particular people. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field." So wherever you go, you're gonna be cursed, and it's a select group of people on the planet that no matter where you go, they're gonna be looked at. I know I personally experienced that. No matter where I go, you got individuals talking about they never experienced racism, and we tripping it, and we, and I just was, I remember my brother said that shit, and I'm like, man, my brother older than me, and I'm like, man, what? I've experienced it at a young age, so you know what I mean? Like, the Lord wanted me to see that for a reason. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store, so your finances. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. This is one of the points, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So the fruit of thy body is that children, you know. They say that your children gonna be cursed, you gonna be cursed, and your household gonna be cursed. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. So again, who is at the lowest state in the society of in a society where everybody's equal and a land of opportunity? You know, they'll tell you that, but then when that's witchcraft to a degree. Because when like, they telling you, oh yeah, it's all this, and then when you literally look with your eyes, you like, well, no, it's not that. It's like a motherfucker telling you the sky is purple. You looking at the sky, you know it ain't purple. You're like, that's heavy enchantments. Uh, Verse 20, the Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuking all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Because at the end of the day, we need the Lord. And it's going to become more evident the closer and closer we get to the end. You know, brothers was just speaking on that, meditating. You know what I mean? When you really go into like what these devils got, you know, you got Jake sitting up here talking about what they going to do, and a nigga, man, do you understand what? It's a reason why we say we need the Lord. You know what I mean? This man, the shit he give you ain't nothing. You know what I mean? It's like what you give. You ever like playing with your toddler or something, or playing with a child or a little one, and you know you can bend them up, and they doing their best to try and get at you, but you bending them up. Like, yeah, that's not, that would you. The Lord, let me go. This is a particular point. Lock it. The fruit of the land, so that the Lord shall smite thee with the Lord. This is the book of, Deuteronomy 28 and 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. You know, every nation didn't go into captivity. So, there we go. Deuteronomy 28 and 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. And what nation of people is always in conflict with their brother? You know, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, some Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, especially you Judites. You know, Judah literally be at his neighbor, which is his brother, because you live amongst your kin, your family, those that look like you. You know, that's what a village is. You know, a community is. You know, but you know, they'll go and do something to do harm or hurt a fellow Jake before they'll do something to Esau, and I've seen that. Esau have a pass all in the hood. You know that he spends money. He did. You don't know who the fuck this guy is. I mean, I literally watched it. And toward the remnant of his children when he shall leave. And, who are some of the, all men, because of this woman, especially this Babylonian woman, will, in Babylon, they'll leave because it's set up against a man. A man take care of this woman, and then she could just be unhappy and pretty much, okay, I want half your shit and get out and I'm taking kids. And when you really sit back and meditate on that, that's all because that's all money. You know what I mean? Once them courts get involved, they charging and they paying, and you want alimony. When you paying alimony, they getting a portion of that product. They don't give a fuck about your household or your family, and it's beautiful because they really thought that this was the land or the American dream and all this old shit, and now this dream is becoming a nightmare to a lot of people. If you making six figures and you struggling or you upset, like the elder Yashawama just made a video about I forgot what it was, a news and prophecy. But point being, he was just saying that it was a lady complaining, but she making six figures. And you're like, damn. Because people, with this system, you got the credit. So a person making six figures probably got damn near almost seven figures worth of debt. Because you could get shit, you could pay all shit, you could live above your means when it's all a trap. You know what I mean? When you really, I often think of that game Monopoly, you know what I mean? And when you see how America runs, I can see why they indoctrinated everybody into that game. And a little piece of, not trivia, but, a little information. You know, I forget where I read it at, but when you go into the company that made Hasbro, I believe that's Hasbro that made Monopoly. Long story short, whatever company that makes Monopoly boards bought out a company that actually made Ouija boards. So, cold chill came to the room. So to show you how spiritual all this is for real. Verse 55, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege and in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. And that's going into a prophecy because, in 70 AD, in the siege of Masada, it a few times through history where Israel ate their children, but, that's one that could come off the top of my head. The tender and delicate woman among you, this is the point I wanted, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. And when you go into that meaning they were so ladylike, they were so, you ever seen a female that says, oh, I'm not touching that. You know what I mean? Just so prissy. I believe that's a word that they use nowadays, but, just a woman, not in the midst of men speaking, she like, but just imagine the nigga woman or the brothers, the end literally being like that. Like, you got women sitting up there thinking they more of a man than the motherfucker. And I laugh at it, but it's not fucking funny. You know what I mean? I mean, I can literally, point out and name accounts of it. But then when shit calls for being a man, they ain't gonna want to stand up. They gonna go run and fucking hide. Got something to fucking say all the time. Bitch, go sit down. Go learn to cook or something. Like, go do something productive. Says, a tender and delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom and toward her son and toward her daughter. So she gonna be evil toward her whole household. That's where you get that evil eye. But that's on left hand type shit. But the point being, like she gonna be, and like I brought out, in Lamentations, the daughters of our people have become cruel because who is known for doing these things as far as hurting their children? So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. I'll read a little bit more. Verse 57, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. And the scary part about it is you got to take time to think about it. A mother is a nurturer. So when I don't even call them mothers of women. Like when a bitch can sit up there and just abandon or, if a bitch can say fuck her own kids, that nigga ain't, I don't give a fuck how much he-man dick he pound on this bitch. I'm saying it for facts. I'm coming into an old spirit. But, no, because the one thing about the world and Brothers in the Truth, the mentality towards a woman, and it's the truth, because a woman could be a motherfucking headache. She could be a helpmeet, and she could be a blessing and all that. But for the most part, a lot of brothers don't experience that. That's why a good woman is truly sent from the Lord. But most brothers, because they went through shit with women. I've done a lot of shit to women, and I think I got it all back during being in the truth. And I'm grateful, though, because, I think about that now. Like, what if I'd have tried to please the woman? You know what I mean? Like, where would I be at right now? You got to think about the way this society set up. You can damn near lose. It was a dude went into a house to save his girlfriend or some shit like that while I was on fire. He got burnt up, fucked up, saved her. She was unscathed. And then this bitch left him. What else do I need to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I'd have did. I'd probably try to eat that bitch or something. Like, I'm being facetious, but like, it's like, for real, like that'll make, then they gonna wonder why men gonna just, you gonna understand why a man was considered something of power when this shit go all ham for real. Like, do you know what men are capable of? Have you ever seen a man do some? I seen a Jake move a motherfucking car by itself though. I'm talking about not no pushing that bitch. I'm talking about lifting that bitch. Do you understand? Yeah. So do you understand how much strength he had? You know, you can't really even imagine it. You know what I mean? Like showing you the power of the human body, but also showing you the power of the spirit and the strength of a man. That's just like making me think of that movie The Remnant when they left that guy for dead. Through his, everybody else probably would have perished, but that man had a spirit on him to live. That they like. Salaki for the digression. So the point being is, these curses fit these particular our nation of people. So I'm gonna bring out a little bit of this article. It says 32-year-old Cleveland mother who pleaded guilty to killing her 16-month-old daughter by leaving her alone in a pack and play pen while she went on a 10-day vacation last summer has been sentenced to life in prison. The bitch should have got killed. They should have stoned that bitch or something. Like you care. And what I'm noticing, the closer we get to the end, you got a lot of women in this mentality. This their mindset. It's about them as opposed. A mother is a nurturer. A mother is supposed to put, you got mothers that, like I said, still love their grown children because in their mind, my child is my child forever. But then you got women like this. And then these be the same bitches that expect you to come save them. It'll be a bitch that's sitting up there trying to think, or what a butcher, whatever the fuck, trying to think she motherfucking something. And then when she sees she not shit and can't do and can't protect herself, oh, help. Nah, like, it did. You really think like the Lord gonna grant you motherfucking help? This scriptures talk about the Most High God judgment is as a ring. So that means if a ring is in a circle, what go around, come around. The mother, Crystal A. Candelario, pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and endangering children on February 22nd. According to authorities, Candelario left her daughter, Jalen, home alone on June 6, 2023 to go on a vacation for a week in Detroit. Now, they said 10 days. So, from week in Detroit, Michigan, and Puerto Rico. Right, I told you she looked like Northern Kingdom. But, man, you can't have no sympathy for that bitch. Because like I said again, if she'll say fuck her own kid, then she gonna say fuck the nigga. She survival of the fittest. Like, according to I read that part. After returning home in the 3100 block of West 97th Street so she from here. Yeah, that's Jake. On June 16th, she contacted the police. When officers arrived, they found the child unresponsive in a playpen full of urine and feces-soaked blanket. You know how retarded bitch is? You left your baby in a playpen. She probably was eating the shit, drinking, like, oh, man. And that's why the fuck, I can't even read no more because I'm getting salty. You know what I mean? Like, they'll say a nigga ain't shit, but yet still, though, the nigga really be giving a fuck. Y'all make it unbearable for a man to deal with the bitch. Like, for real. There's a reason why they call a woman a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, it's the book of Job, chapter 39. I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, I'm going to start up. And 11. Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great? Or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou believe in him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth? Now, this is going back into Job 4 and 3. That's a precept. You can match them up. Because basically these scriptures is likening the Israelite woman to an ostrich. And if you ever go research an ostrich, it's a cruel animal to its young. But I've seen dogs too. Like dogs, when they not really feeling a puppy, they won't fucking fuck with it. I remember my brother had a litter of pit bulls and the mother hated, like he had two all white girls. So if you know anything about like coats of dogs and whatnot, those are the ones that you can get any color coat out of. So those are the more precious and rare. And the mother hated them the most. But I've seen like I got a dog now, and I think the brother had a huge litter. I think he had like what did he how many did he have? Damn, I can't remember how many he had. But they was born in the month of March. I forgot how many he had because, you know, I had looked at it a certain kind of way. But long story short, he had a lot of puppies. And the mother got tired of, like, after the first 2 weeks, she stopped, like, letting them, you know, suck off her nips. You know? So, yeah, you know. But you have, like certain, but, you know, they say certain animals don't like all white things. Showing you that spiritual. You know, like, brothers use, well, not brothers, I think it was, who made that joke? It was somebody made a joke about if you see an all-white roach. I think it was the elder. Somebody made a joke, you know, they made a point. They're like, you see an albino of any creature, like certain creatures in the wild, if they see an albino, they try to kill it because it's abnormal to them. But yet still, in this society, in this world, this albino, Esau Edom, is put on a pedestal, proving to you the scriptures are the truth because the Bible said he was going to do that. It said he's going to take the base man. It says, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. Now, listen to that. So if you liken to that female, Caldario, onto this, basically she left her daughter home in the playpen, nice and warm and snuggle, and then forgot about her because it was all about her. And then these bitches sit up there really think that they're bad bitch society. And, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck? Like, what? How the fuck? You can't be no bad bitch selling pussy, or you can't be no bad bitch, like, smoking. You know what I mean? Like, just, like, when you really take... can't be no bad bitch with some fucking pussy. Sitting up there running from club, your pussy. Like, a bad bitch supposed to... You know what I mean? Like, just when you... I mean, it's funny and it's not, though, because you'll have people really delusional on that shit because this man to put this in their mindset. You know, at one point in time, it wasn't for a bitch to sit. I've had women tell me about how, like, they would get their ass whooped by their mama if they was, like, seen with two different men. You was just with him. Why you with him? Like, the fuck? It's just like, you could see the complete degeneration of society. That's why you have men trying to be women and women trying to be fucking men. Do you not know that's backwards and off? It say, or that the wild beast may break them. She is hardened against her young ones, and as though they were not hers. She left that baby as if it was like not her baby to go kick it. And then a goofy motherfucker sit up there, the Lord go bless this bitch shit. No, the Lord I mean, the thing is this, the Lord can use whoever you want to use to do whatever you want him to do. But, I mean, like, again, like, I just keep on looking at the fact, if a motherfucker do that to a mother, you know, men in their spirits, like a man might have a family and have to go off to war and die. They say that in that movie, Dead Presidents. He said, I can't think about at home, that's gonna get me killed. So if he, you know, he was in the mindset, that's what, so when a man leave the household, it's part of the curses, but it's just different. A woman, again, like I said, she holding a child for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's grown attached to you. I watched that, man, it's just showing you for real, like, the spirit of this place and the spirit in these women. You know what I mean? My demon literally said some shit like that, and I'm like, damn, the Lord, and I kept on trying to figure out, like, well, what's the point of the Lord doing all this? I'm like, what purpose do you serve? Because she proud about to say it and shit. I'm thinking to myself like that. And then I ended up coming across the scripture And it was talking about, it's not the Ezekiel 9 and 5 is another one. Basically, you got people set up to be fuel for fire. You got the Lord created certain people just to be dead. Like, no matter what you try to do to get right with the Lord, like, no, he not having it. And he can do that. Like, who the fuck is you to say that that's wrong? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you coming into your parents' house and telling them what the fuck to do. My dad's dad killed his son because of some shit like that. That's how motherfuckers back in the day didn't play with stuff. So that's a generational curse. And it's showing you how weak this fucking these people is. Like, back in the way, you ain't got no Black Panther shit no more. And that shit all end up becoming infiltrated, and the white man got off into that. But, the most you had was what the fuck was that shit with that cornball ass nigga, Grandmaster Jay, that's supposed to be serving all this time, but this same nigga was running to be the fucking president? Motherfuckers don't even know about that. So who is this nigga for real? She is hardened against her young ones as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because the Most High hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. So when you break that down, if he's likening the Israelite woman to an ostrich, which could be cruel, and when you take time to think about a woman, like, they could be cruel. Like, I've seen women get mad at the man or get jealous at the man showing affection to his daughter. Like, I've seen this shit. Like, so it's like, it's crazy because they don't have any they don't have any logic. Like, emotion to trump logic. And my dumb ass, I will admit to this and show you how emotional I can get. I'm trying to argue the fact of logic to her. And the thing is, if she can't get logic, what the fuck is that? So that make me look stupid. You get what I'm saying? She's not going to understand why, or, this, what feel good or look good, that's what they want. They like kids. And a motherfucker get offended by it, but it's true. And proving the fact of it with this article. She left her kid to go kick it. She wanted to have fun, fuck her kid. And now she probably emotionally fuck. But that's probably her, the Lord about to torture that bitch. Because now she about to sit there for life thinking about her dead daughter. You can't tell me the Lord ain't just do that to that. And I don't sympathize with that bitch at all. Because just imagine what you'll do to something. You'll have a bitch sit up there and keep the son away from the mother. The son away from the father. And like Bushwick Bill said, he said, shit, bitch, how you gonna treat him to be how you gonna learn to be a man? How you say? He said, how you want him to act like you or act like me? You want him to act like a bitch, or you want him to act like the fuck? I made this way longer than what it's supposed to have been. Salaki, I've been just ranting. I'm gonna probably put this as various topics. Salaki, just going into Salaki, just going into the woman. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 25. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart. So the plague of the heart is not your heart, because the heart is a muscle. The whole job is to pump blood throughout your body. But when you go into the Hebrew, when you go into that word heart, it's la'ab, meaning your mind. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the mind. And that's crazy, because I used to say the same thing, not even knowing this was in the scriptures. My grandmother had dementia. Well, it was dementia, then it turned into Alzheimer's. And I was very young, having to watch over her, because, I'm the youngest of my siblings. So they all doing what they want to do, or doing what they, but I'm the youngest. I'm stuck with that, with watching her when I supposed to have been playing. Right. But I could see why the Lord did that now. Couldn't see that back then, but I see why he did it now. Call lawyer like y'all but Shimon Shah. But nonetheless, I used to be like, damn, that's a fucked up disease. Because it's like a wasting disease. You know, if you ever seen anybody with that, they don't recall, they don't know. My grandmother used to use the bathroom in a trash can. Because she probably was thinking it was an outhouse. You know, my grandmother was very old. And she died a long time ago. So, you know what I mean? Like, long story short, I can understand the scripture. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. You know, it's a scripture talk about the wickedness of a man is little to the wickedness of a woman. You know, because a woman will do wrong and she'll act like she didn't. Because she doesn't have any accountability. My demon sent me to jail 30,000 times, right? For trying to see my children. Any other woman will sit up there and be like, damn. Or don't these women want a man to take care of their kids? And then the funniest part about it is, I don't even know why I'm venting this. Because, you know, majority of the time I keep it to myself. But I guess sometimes, like me and the brothers talked about, you got to let that shit out. You know, but nonetheless, you know, after sending me to jail 30 million times, she doesn't even deal with her kids. So it's funny to me, I'm labeled this motherfucker, whatever the fuck Esau want to label me. But yeah, it's still, I got my kids. And I told the brother, I said, now think about that. You think they gonna take that shit off my record though? Is it gonna cross their minds? Oh, maybe she was lying. No, they not gonna give a fuck because it's all about money. Verse 17, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it shall sigh bitterly. You know, make you think of the women that try to be up in men faces. Like, that's a shame upon a fucking man. Because what you think is going to eventually happen? That's just like, the scriptures talk about don't sit next to another man's wife. I don't give a fuck how cool this man is with you being around this woman, but men and women are opposite and attract for a fucking reason. It's a reason for that. Every male and female from human to animal to life, whatever life form on this earth, if it's a male or a female, they gonna do some fucking. You know what I mean? Like, a motherfucker that think that they don't even like men end up doing some fucking, put in the right position or situation. And that's just fact. You know, I used to hear, I mean, I met that shit before. I remember a chick told me, you know, some years way before I came to the truth, but told me about like literally, like, just because they do that don't mean that they don't still like and crave and want dick. So who really delusional though? Who really fucked up? Who really goofy as fuck? Like, who really corny? You sit up there really made a persona about some shit, and you so confused like that, man. It says, verse 19, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. I'm going to skip down to verse 24. Of the women came the beginning of sin. And when you go in the scriptures, it tells you like it was Eve that basically transgressed. You know, now the man went off because he followed his woman. And you would think, oh yeah, listen to your woman. Well, that's a perfect example. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. You need to know when to listen to your woman and when not to, because you know, I've had decent counsel or upright counsel from a woman, because the Lord can use anybody. But it's certain matters that don't pertain to a woman, you know what I mean? But because they want to be so much on a level. And then the funny part is when you put them in a level, like, women are miserable as fuck, for real. Like, women wanted to be the head of households and all this old shit, right? And now that they the head of the hospital, the man not there, they miserable. They got to do all this shit themselves. You know what I mean? Like, because you done fell for the motherfucking bait. The woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Verse 26. And then this is the contrast. It says, because you got a righteous woman and you got a wicked ass woman, but if you go into math, simple math, 2/3, you got majority of the world and the nation that are wicked. You know what I mean? So it's far more wicked ass motherfucking women and men than it is righteous. But this is a blessed or a virtuous woman. Blessed is what's that? Proverbs chapter 31 talks about the virtuous woman, which is given to a man that the Lord, esteems and loves, to a man of the Lord. Blessed is a man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth of her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life. A virtuous woman wouldn't have did no shit like that. A virtuous woman would have been content with, thank you, I'm happy to have a man. And then look, because at one point in time, it was, when you read the scriptures, women sought for a male child. Look at, what's her name? Hannah. Hannah, Samuel's mother. Like she to the point she was so happy to have the son, she gave her first son to the Lord. That's why Samuel ended up becoming a priest. And then by her doing that, the Lord blessed her with more children. Because remember, at one point she was barren, couldn't have no kids. At one point in time, it was women would go crazy because they couldn't have no fucking kids. Now we living in a society where a woman would choose not to have no kids. Which the one virtue that makes you a woman, the whole purpose of you being created on earth, you don't even want to, you don't think nothing wrong with you though. It says a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. one that listen, you know what I mean? That's funny because I've been in two situations with women, right? I had a complete demon, and then I had a woman that was actually, I would consider more of a righteous woman. But to show you how wicked this place is, I start watching my the one woman turned into the demon. I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't know if it was me. Like, I mean, sometimes you got to use wit, you know what I mean? But sometimes we get so fed up, like, and I'm not really into kissing no ass, you know what I mean? Like I mean, I'll take some punishment for my children. I go through and get some shit for the woman, but I'm not about to kiss your ass when, especially, you know what I mean? Like in your mind, you think I did this to you, but then okay, let's look at what the fuck you did. Then you forget everything and you don't know how to speak no more and shit. You know what I mean? Because a woman can't hold no accountability. So why should I have to kiss your ass if you ain't even motherfucking, like, what are you talking about? We both did some shit. Like, verse 15, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Verse 22, a harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Let's read that again. A harlot shall be accounted as spittle. Spittle is when you talking, you ever had a motherfucker talking to you and a little piece of spit come out? I've done it to people. I've had it done to me. But, you know what I mean? And then you disregard it. Most people be like, oh, I've yet to see somebody do that shit and be like, oh, I'm sorry I spit on you. You know what I mean? Motherfucker act like they ain't do it. Right. But at the same time, it said a harlot should be counted as a spittle. So, that's little. It's insignificant. Scripture talk about the nation's going to be counted as spittle. They're nothing. The only nation that the Lord care about is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Central Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. God's chosen people, the Israelites. It says, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Verse 23, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. So, this ain't me going into women. The Bible going into women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, facts. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And it breaks it down. It's all encompassing because you got wicked women and you got righteous women. Just like you got wicked ass men and you got righteous men, So I'm about to end the lesson. Point being with this final scripture, because again, what that lady did, is deserving of death. She pretty much, and like I said again, I've been coming across certain individuals and I'm hearing shit that they doing and they all jakes. And you like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, wow, and that's how you know the Lord gonna really judge a lot of his people. Like, well, how the fuck could you really just not think nothing was gonna go bad? You ain't really even supposed to leave your kids to run to the store. Now I grew up in the age where we was like in the second grade, third grade, and you had children that had keys to get in the house coming from home. I mean, you know what I mean? What they call them, latchkey kids and shit like that. But yeah, it's just like, would you really want to have your kid as a latchkey kid nowadays with all this shit going on? And the craziest part is I never wanted kids. Never tried to have kids. Met this demon in hell. Lord funny. So yeah, that lady got a hell of a judgment. And like I said, the way a woman mind work, now don't get me wrong, all women ain't built like this. You got some, women are more treacherous than men. And that's just fact. That's why, like, when you go into dogs, the female dog is meaner than the male dog, just like the woman is meaner than the man. A bitch would be mad at some shit that she had with her dude and get mad at the dude that she just walking up and say hello to her. Like, being mean for no fucking reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm antisocial. That I don't dig with people well, So it's a difference. Motherfucker speak to me and being respectful, I'm gonna speak back and be respectful. You know what I mean? But a woman to sit up there and purposely try to fuck up your day because she mad at her day. And it's just facts, you know what I mean? I've had women tell me that they don't fuck with other women. I ain't never had a nigga tell me he don't fuck with other niggas. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never, yet out of my 45 years of being on this earth, have yet to hear a man tell me that shit. I don't fuck with man. But I've heard multitude of fucking women say, I don't fuck with other bitches because they do that. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be a hell of a judgment. She probably died from that fuel of fire while she incarcerated. You know what I mean? Like that's just, Or, the Lord can do whatever he wants, you know what I mean? Maybe she'll come in there and find out she an Israelite. I don't know. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, and the point is verse 10, and it reads, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad." So we sent back on this plane to basically receive judgment for the things we've done. And then once your body goes to the earth and your spirit goes to the heavens, you're going to go before the judgment seat of the Most High to, find out, your judgment for what you've done in this one. Verse 12, verse 11, "Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, we persuade men." And that's why we go out on the highways and hedges. I know I pray, the Lord can do anything, but I would rather the Lord kill me before he send me back in the world. Like, take me the fuck out. And however horribly you want to do it, but I don't want to go back in the world. And then they say when you see the world, like, it's nothing to go back to. You know what I mean? The fuck. 10 years ago, yeah, you might have been, okay, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to do this. Shit, the businesses that's been around for years is closing. How the fuck you gonna, It say verse 11, "But we are made manifest unto the Most High, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness." So, at the end of the day, we people see what we're doing, Now it's up to them to choose. Well, ultimately, the Lord, he it's up to the Lord, If the Lord chose you, you're gonna see, you're gonna understand, you're gonna receive, and you're gonna be converted. But the Lord, my demon literally was telling me about the Bible when I first met her. And one of the biggest scoffers of the truth. Ain't that something? Because, you know, the God or the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the true power of the scriptures, you know, you can't just do whatever you want. It isn't just do whatever thou wilt. You know, you got to be disciplined. You can't just go suck this dick and go suck that dick and then eat some pussy. And you can't just, you know, you got, when you go into the word disciple, and is a breakdown of discipline. You know, when you read the scriptures, you can't just eat everything. You can't just do everything. That's all forms of discipline. You know, everybody's not going to have the will to leave everything to follow the Lord. That's in the account of the rich man. You know what I mean? But like I said again, what is you leaving for real? Look at the world. And the shit getting worse. Like, wait till like next year. When you see, you know, you ain't got no freedom of speech. It makes you really wonder if how broken of people we are and how weak the nation is. What's going to really take place for these, what the Lord going to really stir up for these people to really. And the thing is this, though, you got to take time to think about it. Like, all these illegal people was over here. They just said that they just caught a dude trying to cross the border that was a fucking terrorist. So just imagine how many terrorists got in here. I'm going to end the lesson here. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your power. True name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Elohim like Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kodash Rakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives. Freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat that they're listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, say shalom, shalom, and kwam yasharallah, shalom.